Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well out there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by. We get some more Heat news today. A little bit surprising, but Duncan Robinson has exercised his early termination on his contract, so the final years at $19.9 million with only 10 of that guaranteed. So essentially a last year that probably was just going to be $10 million. But Duncan Robinson has exercised that early termination and is now a free agent. Duncan Robinson is free to sign with whomever he pleases. The first word that came out of this was that Duncan Robinson could look to re-sign with the Miami Heat on a multi-year deal. Maybe he decides to do something for 3 years, anywhere from $10 to $12 million, and is a Heat lifer and finishes things out, and that's the way that this will go. But it was interesting because it felt like very much this summer was a foregone conclusion. Oh, of course he's gonna at least take the $10 million guaranteed and will find a new job somewhere else, or he's going to be part of some trade and he can opt out, or the team can wipe away and he can be a free agent. None of that is going to be the case. He was not part of any trades, and he is in fact free to do whatever he wants. Now, he could come back with the Miami Heat. He could go look for a sign-and trade opportunity elsewhere. He could find a place, maybe a place that has an exception, maybe find a place that has some cap space. But right now, it is in Duncan Robinson's court. And I got to be honest with you, there's probably part of that shouldn't be surprising. Because I think if you're Duncan Robinson and you think about how much stuff has been yo-yoed with your Heat role over the last few years, starter, no man's land, on the bench, six-man, you probably want to have some semblance of control. And so this gives him a little bit of that. I think that, people are looking at this and they think that there's a wink that he is going to come back. I don't know. I really don't know. If you are Duncan Robinson, I have no intel on this. I have no, I have no insight on this. But I see this move, and if I'm Duncan Robinson, I honestly feel like my time with the Miami Heat has probably come to an end. I feel like the way that his last Heat season ended, Eric Spoelstra puts him in the game for the first time, Game 4 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are getting blown out by 47 points. And Duncan Robinson doesn't make his first appearance in the game until there's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And he plays the entire fourth quarter. And Duncan Robinson has always been the good soldier like this, right? He will go play preseason games with a bunch of G Leaguers when he's an established veteran. He will never miss games. He's, outside of a back injury, is just always keeping himself available and being a great example for a lot of those young guys. Obviously has molded himself from a D3 player all the way to one of the richest contracts for an undrafted player. So much good in his story. And there was just something about the way that unfolded that for me personally just didn't sit well. It just didn't sit well. This guy is a veteran. He is your all-time franchise leader in three-point shots. And I was like, man, that's when you're going to put him in? You're going to have him come into this game down 47 points. The series over, the season over. Duncan, go play out these last 14-plus minutes for us. And there was just something about that. I was like, man, if I was Duncan Robinson, I'd be like, you know what, dude? I think my time with this franchise has come to an end. And there's also got to be a part of him that, you want to know something? Maybe Duncan Robinson just loves it down here. He's built his professional life down here. He's gotten engaged down here. Maybe his family and loved ones love it down here. Maybe they like their roots down here. Maybe he doesn't want to go. And I understand it. Miami's awesome. Why would you want to? But you want to know something? Also a Northeast guy. Hell, maybe he looks at Brooklyn and is like, hey, I'm the next Joe Harris. I'm going to go do my podcast with Tommy Alter, and I'm going to go, put roots down there and have a new chapter in my life and be in a place where, wherever he goes, it's not like he doesn't have a skill set that's not going to be appreciated somewhere. He's one of the greatest shooters on the planet. And is going to fit in seamlessly with somebody's offense, and probably there'll be some element of him that looks at it and is like, you want to know something? These guys came after me, and that was a sign of respect. And it wasn't, oh, that's just Dunks. He's going to appreciate it because he's the good soldier and he's going to do whatever role we ask. Look, if he stays with the Heat, he'll probably still be that because that's just the kind of professional Duncan Robinson is. But I also think that there's got to be some looking at him where he's like, do I want to finish this thing out? Like, it is going in a younger direction. Sure, I could finish things out and I could hit threes blindfolded from Bam Adebayo the rest of my life because we got a chemistry like none other. But you look at even this team and you're like, all right, well, where is Duncan's role with this club, especially with them just drafting Kasparas Jakuponis? And you're probably thinking, hey, that kid's probably going to get some minutes. We talked about the rookie minutes with Spo. We did a video about this yesterday if you guys want to go check it out. But you look at it and you're like, all right, let's just say right now Wiggins is on the team. You got Davion, Tyler, Bam, Kalel, Wiggins, right? Even if Wiggins is gone, let's put Nico in the starting lineup. It's probably not going to be Duncan Robinson or Jaime Jaquez Jr., right? It's probably not going to be Duncan Robinson. Then you look at the bench, and you got a young point guard who's probably going to get some playing time. You got Pelle Larsson, who's probably going to get some playing time. Whether Jaime's starting or not, probably going to get some playing time. Haywood Highsmith, Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, these are guys that I think that they probably expect a little bit more out of. Jovic, dude. And then you already have Alec Burks on the record saying that he not a thought in his mind otherwise. He wants to come back to the Miami Heat, so he provides some semblance of shooting when you need that kind of nuclear option. Showed last year he has the ability to be the pro's pro, can step in whenever you need him to, like Duncan Robinson is prone to do. So if I'm Duncan and I'm looking about this, I'm like, okay, I can come back and I can finish and I can play my entire career with the Heat, right? But if I sign a multi-year deal of $10 million, start the countdown of when they're going to want to trade me because they're going to probably look to do it, especially to get me off the books. And that takes the control of my career out of my hands. And maybe he's super happy with that and he doesn't care. He just wants to live in Miami or at least put roots down here and this is where he wants to be. I don't know. Or you can go see who's going to roll out the red carpet for you. To me, Duncan Robinson being able to get $10 million a year seems like an absolute layup, or for him an open three. Like it seems to me like it's an easy one for him to get that kind of money. That doesn't seem like a real reach for him to get that kind of a contract. So you're talking about 2 years, 20. If you were just to get back the guarantee of what this year was supposed to be, at the very least, no one's going to offer that for a guy who can shoot the lights out, can fit into any offense seamlessly, is no drama. I just think that seems like if your agent can't get you that and you're Duncan Robinson, you should fire that guy because it seems like every team under the association banner would pretty much sign up for that. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm all wrong, and maybe I'm looking at this the right direction. I know that the majority of people come out immediately, and they're thinking to themselves, "Oh, he's gonna re-up with the Heat style." I'm like, I don't know. You look at the timeline, and even for both parties, like, look, if you're the Heat, like, I get it. You don't have a ton of guys who could light it up like Tyler Hero does. Maybe you're starting to believe that Nikola Jovic is starting to turn into that shooter, and so you get a little bit more pop there. You're going to get Alec Burks on the cheap skis. Who knows what Jakuponis is going to be? Started off his college career, pretty good shooter, but they feel confident in it, but his numbers didn't end fantastic. Maybe Pelle Larsson greatly improves. Forgot about Terry Rozier. He's also on the roster, and you would think, like, if he's going to come back, it's not like he's going to get no minutes. And if I'm just Duncan Robinson, I'm like, what I'm looking for in my 30s is clarity, right? I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking for a role that is consistent. I'm looking for I'm looking for what Max Strus got from the Cavaliers, where it's like, hey, I know that they're going to rely on me. I know that they're going to lean into me. I know that they're going to want me there. And I know that there may be like a Heat role player scarlet letter, but this guy's so established and has been doing it for so long. I feel like someone's gonna roll the dice on him and be like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing for us. So no, man, when I saw that he was becoming a free agent, I could be dead ass stupid. This could be solved by tomorrow and he could be back with the Heat, and I will be tremendously happy. That's awesome for Duncan. But the way that last season ended, the way that the last couple of years have gone, where he's at in his career, the depth chart of the Miami Heat, I don't know. It just feels like if I was him, I'd be like, I could definitely find a place that's going to appreciate me a little bit more, not only just in money, but in role. That's probably maybe even makes a little bit more sense for where my career's at, and be good with it, because this has been a hell of a run. You talk about being able to do something that he's been able to do in his franchise, in his history, and get to the top of the Heat leaderboard and been part of some incredible runs. A lot to be proud of in his Miami Heat career. Like an unbelievable Miami Heat career run. But I don't know, when this decision went down today, to me, my first reaction was like, oh, that's because he wants to control a little part of his career right now and is probably looking for a fresh start. I may look dumb on this. It may be, he may sign a 3-year deal with Miami tomorrow, but I don't know. Something about this was like that spoke to me. Like Duncan Robinson was looking for something new and looking for another chapter. And we'll see how it all unfolds. But I don't know. My initial reaction to it was this felt like the end of Duncan Robinson's Heat career, just because, he probably is like, sees the writing on the wall, is sick of it, and is like, you know what? I think I'm ready to see if anybody else will appreciate me and give me a more steady role for the same amount of pay, or even maybe more money. There might be exception money that's out there. There may be a sign and trade that's out there. Everybody, you think about people who are looking to put, shooting around their stars all over the place. It's not like that's not needed all over the league. Defensive shortcomings as they may be, and he's turned himself into a much, much better player and a very well-rounded player. Sure, there's some concerns about, maybe the back injury is something that's here to stay, and on this side of 30, maybe that's something that's not going to go away anytime soon. But I don't know. I saw this decision today, and I was like, I kind of feel like he's moving on.